Hey guys, what's up? Matt in Japan coming at you today with Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy Arcee. And I was very on the fence about this figure. Decided to pick her up, and we'll see what she's all about once we get her open and out of the packaging. Speaking of the packaging, let's take a quick look. It is your very run-of-the-mill Earthrise packaging. We've all seen it before. But what I really want to focus on is the artwork. So we will take a look on the side of the box, and you see her wielding her weapon there. Very cool, very cool. Now, the artwork does not depict the massive backpack that she has, but luckily part of that backpack can come off and be used as a sort of stand or sort of sled mode or whatever you want to call it. She is a deluxe class figure and not a whole lot else. So you have your Earthrise artwork on the side, and on the back she does transform in 15 steps from her Cybertronian vehicle mode to robot mode. And that's about it. So, without further ado, let's get her open and see what Arcee is all about. Okay, so here we have Earthrise Arcee out of the packaging, and we'll get a close-up look at her in detail. So, focusing on the head sculpt at first, it is all cast in white plastic with a sort of dark blue paint on the eyes, and a very nice head sculpt. I do wish that they had done something a little bit more, at least painted the mouth here. That would have been a nice little detail there, but as is a very nice head sculpt. You get some nice molded detail on the head, and going down the figure you have the Autobot symbol there, and going down you get some nice sculpted detail here on the abdomen, and there's some gray paint here that sort of breaks up all the pink and white, which is nice, and you get some nice panel lining going down on the legs, and not much else. No detail really on the lower legs or the feet. So, the question we're all asking is, how does she look from the side? And here we go. Bam! She's got a big old backpack, just like every other Arcee figure that we've ever seen. But it really can't be helped because of her vehicle mode. But the saving grace to this figure is that this back section of the backpack can actually be removed and used as her stand or sled or whatever you want to call it. So, in order to do that, there is a little sort of, I don't know if you want to call it, a little lever right here that if you push, it does detach. So first of all, what you want to do is there are two tabs. If you just kind of pull this away, there are two tabs here and here that peg into slots on the back. And then what you want to do is actually push that, and that will release this kind of white part, and that just clips in there and it just kind of pulls away. So it's very easy to detach. And then basically what you want to do is you want to take this and turn it around, and then just kind of, actually you want to put it so that's facing in, and then you have your little stand or sled or whatever. And there are two pegs out here for her to stand on. So I will just put that off to the side. I'll show you that in a bit. So yeah, getting into articulation next. This figure is not as articulated as I thought it would be. The head is on a ball joint. It's very tight. It does do a full 360, but there's not a lot of motion otherwise. I mean, you barely get a side to side, and there's really not even an up and down. You can see my finger just slipped there, but because it's really tight. So very, very little movement on the head. So I kind of wish it was a bit more expressive. Again, because of the backpack, now that we've taken that extra backpack off, it does look a lot sleeker and slimmer, which is very nice, but it still does hinder the articulation. So on the arms, they can go out, they can go up and down that much, and they can go bend that much, and there is a bicep swivel, a more than 90 degree at the elbow, but again, it does get hindered because of the backpack. So moving her arms out to the side, there is also a nice waist swivel, 360, which is very nice. Her legs cannot go, she can't really do the full splits, it goes out that much. And because of the way the legs are, you can kind of do a 360 there, but it is, again, it's very limited. There's no real thigh swivel, although you can call this a thigh swivel, I guess. And then at the knee, you get a way more than 90 degree because of transformation. And then going down on the lower leg, a very, very subtle ankle tilt. I mean, it's very, very minor. So, and you do get some articulation on the feet, but again, that is because of transformation. So I feel that there's very limited articulation on this figure. You can get her in some nice poses, but I compare it to other Arcee figures. Definitely there's more articulation in the other figures. So I'm just going to move this sled off to the side. I will talk about her one accessory that she comes with, and that is her little pistol here. It is cast in a bluish sort of clear plastic, and not a whole lot going on. There's a little bit of sculpted detail in there, not much else. There is a peg here for weapon storage, but it is very basic, and I kind of wish, again, they had done just a little something extra with that. As it is, it's very simple. And that does just clip in her hand. It does not really stay in her hand that well, but she can hold that. So, bringing in other Arcee figures. Let's see. First of all, let's bring in the Generations Arcee. So here we have her next to Generations Arcee. And we also have her next to the Cyberverse Bumblebee. I think Bumblebee Adventures Cyberverse Arcee. So there they are, the three of those. And that's sort of how they scale together. They are very similar in their height and size, so they scale quite nicely together. I do prefer the Generations. I'm just going to take this Cyberverse Arcee out, but let's just take a look at these two in detail. I really do like the head sculpt on the Earthrise Arcee, but I feel like the Generations face with the paint on the face and the painted lips, it kind of pops out more, and it's more kind of G1 in my opinion. I think it looks a little bit better. I think just more, they paid a little bit more attention to the paint apps on this figure. And I think overall look, I prefer the Generations figure. That's not to say the Earthrise doesn't have good points. Actually, the backpack on the Earthrise, I actually prefer. It's a lot thinner and sleeker, and it's not so bulky looking. But I do just prefer some of the more design elements they did with the Generations figure. As far as the paint, just a little bit more paint to break up the figure. So there they are, side by side. And let's take her out. And then let's take a look at this sled, or whatever you want to call it. I feel like it's more of a stand more than anything. I mean, this is basically the back section of the car, so it's kind of giving away the car mode here. But there are two pegs that you can put, have her stand on, and she does have holes on the bottom, so we can let's put this foot on there, and it just pegs in like so, and it's a very secure connection. So you can have her, you can have her sort of posing on the sled there or whatever. Kind of looks like she's balancing on there. Yeah, it seems like more of a stand more than anything, but I'm not sure how I feel about the parts forming aspect of this figure. I do appreciate that it comes off and you have less of a backpack. That is a very nice attention to detail, but as far as parts forming and things like that, I'm not really a big fan. Anyway, so let's get into her vehicle mode. Okay, so here we have Earthrise Arcee all transformed up into her vehicle mode, and let's take a quick look at her. And going around the figure, vehicle mode is very simple, not a whole lot of panel lining, some sculpted detail on the grille and headlights, and not much else. You do get a little bit of detail on the seats here, and some sculpted work on the dash with the windshield, with the steering wheel. And that windshield is done in that same plastic as the gun is. If you do have this figure, please be careful. This tends to pop off very easily. I could see that getting lost very easily. Taking a look at from the back is, I kind of wish there was another thing that kind of folded out to hide all this. It would have been nice if there was another piece with maybe some taillights or something. Just a little bit more detail. Looking at the undercarriage here, it is basically her squished up on the bottom. And I found the transformation to be a little bit frustrating. It's very difficult to get these legs kind of folded up and inside here. And also there's pegs that the back of the arm should slot into on the bottom, which don't. It's very tricky to kind of get in there and peg those in. So I found the transformation a little bit frustrating. Although she does transform pretty compactly, and she does roll. You really have to be careful that this back piece is pushed into that sliding peg there, and that everything is sort of smushed up, so there is clearance for the wheels, but she does roll. And she's not a bad vehicle mode. But comparing her, let's bring in the Generations Arcee, and I do think the Generations Arcee is a little bit taller than Earthrise, and I do think they just paid a little bit more attention to detail on this figure. I kind of prefer this better. I do like the more detail in the on the dash and everything like that. And I think it's, you know, paint apps are a little bit more on this, and I think I just like the overall look. Not bad. The Earthrise isn't that bad, but I do tend to favor the Generations, and just bringing in that Bumblebee Arcee here just for a quick comparison of all three Bumblebees. Not Bumblebees, Arcees. God, sorry about that. Got Bumblebee on my mind for some reason. Yeah, so there's the Cyberverse Arcee compared, and that's how they fare. I say as far as ranking, I actually like the Generations, and I actually like the Cyberverse. I would say the Earthrise comes in last. I just don't think it's a great figure. The plastic feels a little cheap. I feel like I'm gonna break it when I'm transforming it, and it's not bad. I don't mind the robot mode. I think I might have to just fiddle with it a little bit more, and I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me. Anyways, taking these guys out. Just one last thing before we go here. There is weapon storage on the bottom. There's a little peg here, and there's a slot here. Although I think this slot is a little bit too big, because every time I put this in, it tends to fall out. And of course, on camera, it fits in nice and snug. But if you kind of just look at it wrong, yeah, there we go. It tends to just fall out very easily. So that is nice that there's weapon storage, but actually, if you angle it a little bit, it tends to stay in better. But anyways, we'll just take that off for now. So yeah, there is Earthrise Arcee. I can't really say I recommend this figure. If you really don't have like an Arcee in your collection, I could see, you know, kind of it filling the need. I have the other two Arcees, and I just feel like the Generations one is done better. But nonetheless, it is a fun figure, and there are some good points to it. So anyways, this has been Matt in Japan for Earthrise Arcee. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day.